Welcome back to Nerdrotic Live. My name is Gary Biegler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and I am live in San Francisco. Greetings, everybody. We are here to talk about the Doom Patrol, Season 1, Episode 12, Cyborg Patrol, and hopefully we will get more seasons from this show, because despite having some pretty cringy woke moments, it really is a good show. I really wish they wouldn't put so much of that in, and we could really just enjoy Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol unfold before our eyes. Now, it's not an exact interpretation of it, but it's as close as we're going to get, and it's really in tone, so close to the comic and so well done. And this was a really good episode, I thought. Now, the plot wasn't that intricate. It was, left over. We have Cyborg still having a problem. His operating system keeps rebooting. He got caught by the Bureau of Normalcy. And we see that Star Labs has been working with them. We have a little scene with the evil generals eating, of course, a McDonald's cheeseburger and mentioning the butts. What are the butts, I wonder? Well, that comes into play later. And yes, the show is very silly and it's weird. And that's what it's supposed to be. The whole point of the Doom Patrol is an examination of just the absolute weird regions of the DC Comics universe, because DC is infinitely more weird than Marvel. Marvel's the world outside your window. DC is it's got its roots, from the golden age, when superheroes were just for kids and they would just make up a name like Saturn Girl or something and roll with it. But they'd also have some really bad ideas that they rolled with, and they pretty much made a comic about the bad ideas and made it really interesting. And Doom Patrol is supposed to be, basically superheroes gone wrong. And then you throw in Cyborg, which I didn't like that idea at first, to be honest with you. But it's really worked this season. And they kind of flipped the daddy issue thing on its head, which I thought was very interesting. So, of course, we're still looking for Niles. Cyborg is caught, and Dad comes by, and he decides that he needs to break in to the ant farm, which is where the Cyborg is being kept, and he wants the Doom Patrol, which they are not the Doom Patrol yet, to go to help him. And we actually get to see like a use of some powers. We get to see Elastigirl actually do something, and I thought it was pretty damn good, and it was pretty funny. What stands out is Brendan Fraser's Robot Man is just freaking perfect and excellent. So, the weirdness got turned up. Cyborg has a next door neighbor who is turns out to be the missing person from the comic book, Flex Mentallo, and that's going to be interesting. And we see, hang on a second, I'm brain farting on names, but I wanted to bring Flex Mentallo up real quick before we continue, because here on YouTube, we have a lot of problems with copyright strikes and fair use. And Flex Mentallo is a perfect example on how hypocritical Warner Brothers is, who owns DC. Warner Brothers hits us with the most copyright strikes, hits us being YouTubers with the most copyright strikes. They are quick to pull the trigger. Well, I will point out that Flex Mentallo is based on Atlas. I just missed it here. I'm going to bring this up. Atlas. Sorry. I meant to have this right. Atlas. So the Charles Atlas Company. And when Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely did their miniseries, it kind of got past the Charles Atlas Company. And when he found out later, of course, he tried to sue, and the suit was dismissed for fair use. So I think I just will shove this, because anytime we get hit with a copyright strike, we can fight it and use an example, and I'm just going to copy and paste this every single time. And I, I was doing a little research, believe it or not. So, yeah, I thought that was a bit interesting. Now, somebody had brought up prior to the live stream that some of my live streams have these weird kitty videos next to it in the recommended field, and that's happened to more people than me. It's happened to Jeremy at the quartering and stuff. The explanation for that is a type of a shadow ban. I found this out. So what they do is they review some live streams, especially this has been happening to me since I started reviewing videos, because obviously you guys know a lot of people try to stream TV shows on YouTube still. So and they try to hide it as a review. So what they do usually is, I'm demonetized right now. I'll probably get monetized in like 2 minutes because they do a review to make sure I'm not showing any of the episode. So that's why that happens. It is a form of shadow banning. It's kind of burying your live stream until they find out you're legit, not something crazy. So this was a good episode for Larry, because we didn't get for the first time in like the series, maybe we didn't hear about Larry being gay. And it's fine in the story, but it just, man, I hope they, for lack of a better term, put that one to bed last episode. I thought it was actually a good ending. I thought the story just went on way too long. But Larry is starting to act like Larry now, and he is separated from the inner being inside him, and that was interesting. He had a moment to walk away from it, and he didn't. And that was cool. Crazy Jane wasn't totally annoying in this episode. But of course, Elastigirl, my favorite, was brilliant. She was stuffed inside a cliff when they broke in to the ant farm. So they break in to go get Cyborg out, and at the end of the episode, Cyborg starts freaking out and ends up beating the crap out of his dad, because he's, of course, he thought his dad had put in a system to regrow his limbs, and he thought he was going full cybernetic. Well, it turns out it was Mr. Nobody the whole time, which I'm sure everybody guessed. And we finally got to see Alan Tudyk, which we don't see enough in this show. Timothy Dalton and Alan Tudyk. I could just see a show with both of them. They're actually pretty great in this show. So it turns out it was Mr. Nobody. He got him to beat the crap out of his dad, and it was part of his goal, his overall goal. I'm not really too sure. But he did warn Cyborg not to go after him. And yeah, so I don't know if dad is dead. It looks that way, but probably not. We'll see. We couldn't tell from next week's scenes. Overall, I would say 8 out of 10 episode. I liked it a lot for the emotional impact. For intricate plot, we're not going to get that with this show. This show is really meandering. They basically had, 3 or 4 episodes take place in the same period of time from different perspectives. But, they've also introduced some cool characters from the DC universe. And of course, we got a Batman reference. Cliff said, well, maybe we should, when they were talking about breaking in the ant farm to help Cyborg, Cliff says, well, won't it just work itself out? I mean, he's kind of almost a Justice League member. Text Batman. I thought that was great. Was the Twilight Zone 2019 any good? Man, I keep meaning to review that, and I keep missing the night. It's freaking horrible, and I will be reviewing it next week. I will pick that up next week. So I've just been I've been very busy, very, very busy with some home stuff. Fuck you, Gary. It's bedtime. Always miss live. Captain Fuckhead. How are you, Captain Fuckhead? Thank you for the 2 pounds. Yeah, it's a little late over there. What are you doing up? It's past your bedtime. So thank you for the 2 pound super chat. Captain Fuckhead is in the house, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary members of the galactic universe or whatever. Could some of the released inmates be future bad guys? Says, oh my God, how do I say your name? Sizzy 94. Yes, it certainly looked that way to me. So the great scene at the end, they're breaking, they're on their way to Cyborg, and they're going to break everybody out. And Cliff has a moment and decides to be, Cliff, because Cliff is a hero. So he has a little hero moment and he decides to let out all the other people, which they do. Larry handles that. And yeah, some of those people look like bad guys, but they also let out the butts. These were sentient butts, and the butt cracks opened up into mouths, and they run around. Now, this is the kind of humor Grant Morrison and Garth Ennis are famous for. And it's kind of weird. It's very 1990s Vertigo comic book humor, when that was like extremely edgy and funny. I don't know how it plays to like a younger audience now. I don't know. I'm an old dude. I thought it was pretty funny seeing that run around, but a bunch of running butts. Yes. And eating people, by the way. I mean, ripping limbs off. And then I got to ask myself, hey, I don't want to sound like Mr. Prude, because I'm not. I am definitely not. But this is, sorry. But this is the DC streaming service, something my kid was on all night last night after he was done with his homework. He goes right on the DC streaming service and he starts reading comic books and he starts watching, animated series. Right now, he's completely addicted to the Teen Titans, which is great. But then you have this really hard R, rated R stuff. And I'm just wondering where they're going with this, and I think when this streaming service eventually dies, and unfortunately I think it's going to die, and I thought it was a really good idea. I'm kind of surprised Disney didn't do this with Marvel, but maybe they knew it wouldn't work, and I don't know. But this is going to be the reason why, because you have kid cartoons and man-eating butts running around, and really deep adult themes. The stuff that believe me, they're teaching my kid in junior high. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but yeah, the butts was funny. It was funny. Butts had legs. I'm sorry, not little arms. They had legs. I sit corrected. Thank you. Silhouetted animator for $5. Noticed no junk on the butts, but did Robin cut them off? Yes. Robin must have got to him with the bat scissors. Butts, I need to get DC streaming service. They weren't like Derek, Raju, they were like flabby butts. It's not like well, I think it was all kinds of butts, wasn't it? Yeah, maybe there was some like sexy butts in there. I didn't catch them though. Want to hear your thoughts on social media purges. Are the companies with their rights within your rights, in your opinion, with this spread to YouTube creators? Yes. In your opinion, keep Gary monetized. Hashtag keep Gary monetized. Aaron Freeman, thank you very much. I will be doing a video on this channel because it'll be kind of political. I've been aware of it because I don't watch the news. So Dave Cullen did an excellent video on that subject. Please watch it. And I will be doing a video on that on this channel because it's deeply concerning. It's deeply concerning. They're purging people for speech that is completely legal. And where do we go from there? I hate legislation. I do. I certainly do. But oh boy, there I go again. But I will bring that up, Aaron. I will. So definitely weren't America's ass quality. Chris Persia, no, right? The butts were definitely not Captain Marvel size. No, that wasn't a bunch of pieces of paper running around. But scary times, even if you're in the middle. Christine Fernandez, that's primarily what I'm concerned about. Oh, very good. Skillame Shatner. Yeah, it is. This is not cool. I know that's a very deep and thoughtful response to that, but dude, this is so not cool, bro. I got to work. I'm going to try to formulate a video that still will not get too political, but we all know why they're doing it. It's, election season's coming up, and yeah, they want to control the flow of information. And I'll just say the last subject I'll just say on this is if they try, they'll just create something else. It's not going to go away. I was speaking to my brothers about Endgame, and they have no idea about the SJW stuff. A lot of people don't know what's going on. Um, yeah, well, I mean, that's why people need to be made aware. And you're right. There's a lot of ignorance to it. And it's not any judgment on them. Most people are busy running the world, working, making the world actually work. But that's how this stuff gets passed. That's how it gets away from people. That's how tyranny starts. It's through apathy. So yeah, but like it will come for them too. And I'll even swing it back to Doom Patrol. Once that is gotten rid of, then shows like Doom Patrol won't be on the air anymore, because even though it has some very progressive themes in it, once one side is taken away, they'll come for the other. I mean, they just don't think they won't, and we won't get art like this. That's why that's why I love a show like Doom Patrol, because yes, it's got progressive themes and blah blah blah, but it also pushes like political correctness too. I mean, it just had butts with legs running around, and yes, I will fight very hard to keep asses with legs running around, man eating asses and women eating. By the way, people eating. These weren't sexist butts. They ate men and women. We got to fight to keep this on the air. Okay, keep our hashtag keep our butts free. The ending between Victor and his dad broke me. It was so good. Very upsetting and powerful scene, in my opinion. It was, because at the end there, he's been called a douche nozzle and a terrible dad. And the whole story about Victor Stone's is a dad who loved his son so much that he refused to let him die. And yeah, listen, I would rather be alive personally. And if I get my head invaded, I don't know, by my dad's not around anymore, but that's and yeah, I thought that was really, it kind of turned the bad dad thing on his head when Mr. Nobody's all, nope, I actually made up that last part. Your dad really loved you. It's like, whoa, freaking Mr. Nobody. Great villain. Absolutely great villain, played by Alan Tudyk, who's like one of the best actors in Hollywood, one of the best talents in Hollywood, a great voice actor, a great character actor. I think he could even pull a leading man if he wanted to. I just don't think people have given him a shot. So he's fantastic. It's wrong to think they really want to control. It truly is. It truly is. The Doom Patrol episode was great, and that's something. Listen, I'll talk about it on Friday Night Tights. We can when I start that live stream in a couple hours, we can certainly bring it up. I don't think it's too political to talk about free speech. And is Shazam in Shazam? We had a bad mom. We did. Shazam was a great example of a movie that was pretty diverse and didn't beat you over the head with it. The whole Shazam family at the end, I thought that was good. I thought that was really cool. The little girl who was great. Forget the actress's name. She was funny, and I like Shazam quite a bit. I'm gonna buy it. I guess Aquaman came out on Blu-ray, and I resisted buying it. I was like, I don't know if I want to buy it or not. I don't know how many. I mean, I liked it. I did. But for Patreon folks, I got this thing. And somebody, I mean, I know this isn't somebody's got to explain to me why here in America we got Doctor Who Tom Baker his first season and his 7th season, but we didn't get the ones in between. Who is making the decisions over there in the UK? And then I got this in my PO box. I can't believe I'm touching it, but I will be reviewing it. I got, now that I've talked to Mahler, me and him are like this. He like barely remembered my name after a 6-hour live stream. No, Mahler's cool. I'm going to do a Mahler type review on that. It'll probably take me a couple months to make it, but do you think Mr. Nobody created the painting of Cyborg killing everyone also? Yes, there are times I think we're just in a big Mr. Nobody scenario. And this is all happening in the Doom Patrol's head. Anybody else get that, or is that only me? The only reason to buy Aquaman on Blu-ray is to look at Amber Heard from a safe distance. Amanda's no one. Yeah, I don't like her. I don't like her. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Yeah, the BBC the BBC decisions make no sense, says Tickerman Blade. They are releasing the last Pertwee season first now. I know, I saw that. I was so excited though. At least we're getting them on Blu-ray finally. I mean, right when 4K comes around, but I am so excited. So I'm sticking with Patreon. I'm going to be reviewing, I don't know how detailed I'm going to get, Doctor Who from the beginning. So I'm almost finished with The Unearthly Child. The reason I went back to Doctor Who is I just got so discouraged with crappy Game of Thrones and crappy freaking Star Trek, and I just wanted to see something good, and I always just go back to old Doctor Who. It makes me feel good. Touching season 11 is like vampire touching holy water. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wash my hands now, says Father Christopher Miller. But Doom Patrol is good. Would I buy it? I don't know. What sucks is these shows that are only on streaming services, I don't think we're going to get physical media from them. And if I was the companies, I wouldn't make it. I would never make it. That's why I was surprised that Netflix did Daredevil season 1 and 2. But maybe ABC made them do that. I'm not sure. Will you be reviewing Cobra Kai episodes? Crazy Chameleon. I'm going to review the whole season either Saturday or Sunday. I got to find time, but yeah, and we'll do it here and we can talk about it as long as you like. It's just going to be a love fest. I freaking love it. It's so good. Titans is getting a Blu-ray release in a couple of months. Oh, that answers the question, Silhouetted Animator. Well, then I will probably be buying Doom Patrol. I probably will. Probably hopefully there'll be some good special features. You can always go back and watch another season of Farscape now on Amazon Prime. Chris, you are right. That's another commitment I need to finish. I wish they would have done a better master. I heard they were going to do some high def version, but it's not. Here in Canada, Doom Patrol comes on the Space Channel. So you get to watch it over the air. That's cool. That is cool. Does anyone know when The Expanse is back out? Bionic Belly Button. The last I heard, they are hoping to have it by the end of the year. So we're looking at possibly November, but my guess is January of 2020. Because they put a ton more money into it, apparently. Apparently, it's going to just look slick. Do you think Doom Patrol will survive the WBS streaming service? I think Doom Patrol might, just based on critical. I mean, they're going to need content, and the critical acclaim has been pretty good for it, and I've liked it. So, Marvel needs to release all their shows on Blu-ray. What's stopping them? Disney, yeah, and the streaming service. I think Disney is going to stop physical media. I would. It's dumb to put it out. If you want to put out a streaming service, they've already started pulling stuff from other streaming services. So, I mean, that's what's killing CBS. I mean, you can watch Star Trek on Netflix. Why would you take CBS All Access? But, oh, man, the Expanse can't come soon enough. Will Swamp Thing have a season 2? Unlikely. They cut the season short, and apparently Swamp Thing was expensive as hell. And that's too bad, because I think it's going to be really great. I've always been disappointed in Doc Who, but always stuck with it, hoping it would get better, but it never did. Yeah, it never did. It never did. Got something in my eye. Why didn't the Sonic movie trailer use DC Thunderstruck instead of Gangsters in Paradise? Crazy Chameleon, because some idiots. I mean, like, they put no thought into it. They probably went to a marketing firm, and the marketing firm said, well, Gangster's Paradise has, is really big with the fans when we do trailers or some bullshit like that. I bet you that was the decision. Your recommendations are crazy foreign kid shows, really effing eerie looking, actually. Yeah, they're bizarre. They're like one I saw was like this Japanese clown lady playing with the Spider-Man action figure, and and making weird noises, and she was a mime, and it was like the worst nightmare acid trip I could think of. They should have used Notorious B.I.G.'s Juicy. They should have used Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster. That's my favorite. Um, are you talking about all of New Who, Rebecca Gold? No, I disagree. I think New Who is fantastic. The first few seasons. Then the last few seasons just kind of fondle that finger. Yeah. I mean, I've gone back and forth with people about the Capaldi era. It's like it's a good performance, but they're mostly bad. They're mostly very bad. All right. So Doom Patrol is great. Let's continue the conversation in about an hour and a half over on the mothership with Comics Division. And there's no set topics tonight. I didn't have time to even look at any news. I'll look some stuff up. We'll talk about the free speech stuff. I'm sure we'll talk about Game of Thrones. So the Game of Thrones video I just put up, by the way, I did that 2 days ago. I just added something very quick to the end. That's why I'm wearing the shirt. But I can tell you all now that there are some huge spoilers on Reddit, Free Folk Reddit. And I won't say anything more than that. Somebody's messaging me. What is this? One of my treasured items I've been hanging. Oh, look at that. Father Christopher, thank you. Oh, that's cool. I'm going to show the picture. I'm not going to show any personal information. He's got that on his wall. That's freaking. Apparently, there's some kind of collector's edition of this. It's on eBay for $500. I'm like, God dang it. Yeah, the only expensive Tom Baker thing I have, and that's just because I bought it early, was the Big Chief 1/6 scale Tom Baker, which goes, I think there's one on eBay that you can find for $3,000. $3,000. Unbelievable. All right, everybody. So check me over. I would not sing the song of spoilers, but you can definitely go to Free Folk and you can find them yourselves. But no, I won't even tell you what I think of them. But everybody have a great day. I'll see you over on Nerdrotic. Thank you for joining me for Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol thumbs up this week. Zero wokeness and all just comic book weirdness. That's all I ever want. I'm a simple man with simple needs, really, honestly. Everybody in the chat, you guys rock. Chris Persia, Mark Lazurth, thank you for the wrenches. I truly appreciate you always coming in and helping me out. And good to see you, Rebecca Gold and Mikey and Wonder Girl 60s and Rome Hater and Christine Fernandez and Time Travel Registered Trademark. God, I don't want to forget anybody here. Okay, I'm going to try to say it again. This is Sizigi 94, Aaron Friedman, Crazy Chameleon. Who else is here? Bionic Belly Button, Stray Dog. Man, Stray Dog. There's a lot of stray dogs in Italy, like running around everywhere. It's crazy. A Man Is No One, Mystique LeBeau, Skillum Shatner, Tickaman Blade, Paul from Ottawa, and that's great. And yeah, hashtag keep butts free. The Senate is here. Ian Moon, Obi-Wan Reviews. Hail to you. Hail to you. Check out Obi-Wan Reviews. He's got a channel. Aaron Friedman, Derek Raju. Oh, if you don't know what I'm doing, back in the old days when I had fewer people watching, I could thank everybody in the chat. Joe Annan, Road Rager, Who else is here? Moons of Madness. And that's as far Bear. Nerd Fun. All right. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh boy, we got a super chat in there for Australian $5 from Peter Davison. Who sets the benchmark for a classical Cyborg? Who sets the benchmark for in the comics? George Perez. Marv Wolfman, George Perez, like the first. Like that's the benchmark. That's Cyborg right there. But this version is better than the one we saw in Justice League, I think. So, but there's still probably a better Cyborg out there somewhere. All right, everybody, I will see you over on the big channel. Thanks for coming in. We do not kneel.